Hi everyone, just to drop you a quick update on part 15 of our Vampire Survivors series. So previously, at the start of the month, I said that the Vampire Survivors part 15 video will be out in about 2 weeks, and I'm here to tell you that it's probably not gonna be on time. Reason for that is because over the first couple of weeks of December, we've had a lot of projects come in, so that was what I've been busy with, and I've also come down with a flu as well the past few days. So I'm gonna be shifting the release of part 15 all the way back to the end of December. So I'll be aiming to finish this before the New Year rolls around, and our live streams will continue after part 15 has been released. Just to recap what part 15 is about, it's a summation of the past 6 or 7 live streams where we were revamping the weapons system. So after part 15 releases, it's going to be a long part. There will be a new weapon system and it's going to be easier to use. It's also going to be more flexible. So accompanying the part 15 video will also be a couple of videos about how to design your favorite weapons in Vampire Survivors. Like for example, we had in the live stream we had the whip, we had the axe, we had the fire wands, we had lightning ring. Oh, I love that one very much because lightning effect is nice. Okay, so after part 15 is released, we're probably gonna have a couple of videos to cover how to create your most popular weapons in Vampire Survivors. So after that is done, in the new year we will resume our live streams, and we will also be covering how to improve the spawning system. So in our forums, one of the biggest questions, one of the most common questions we have is, how do I do this with the spawning system, or how do I do that with the spawning system? So it's nice, but it's a little difficult to use and it's not flexible enough for you. You know, in Vampire Survivors you have enemies that spawn in very nice patterns, like you have a ring of those plants that appear, or you just have a huge swarm of enemies, right? So currently it's a little difficult for us to create enemy formations like that, and then with the revamp of the spawning system, which is due to happen next year, this is one of the things that we'll be aiming for with the new system. So for those of you who are following our Farming RPG series, we will also have a new video that's going to be releasing sometime next week. Oh yeah, one more thing. So if you have any questions regarding coding any of the features in any of our series, you can always check out our forums. I'm gonna put the link somewhere in this video, so check it out, because over the past couple of months we've had a lot of great questions on there. I've been doing a lot of work responding to all of these questions, so if you have a question, it might already be solved in the forums, so check it out. And for the rest of this video, we also have some interesting questions from our viewers over the past couple of live streams I'd like to share with you, so enjoy. Hi Logic, thank you for subscribing to the Patreon. So we have quite a couple of things lined up before we get to in-game currency and treasure chests that spawn. So the treasure chest is one thing that I have in mind. But before we implement that, the first thing that we want to do, right, is we want to implement a weapon system. So if you look at our previous weapon system, right, for every level you have to create a new prefab and you have to create a new scriptable object. So it's a lot of work to do that, and what I have done over the past couple of streams is, if you look at how weapons are created now, they are all under one object, and then you just key in all the stats like that. So once I'm finished with this system, which includes the passives as well as the weapon evolution, next thing I'll be working on will be the auto spawning system for the map. So right now, if you look at the spawning system, there are still some issues with it. After the map generation system is done, I'll work on the enemy generation system first. So the order of what I'll be working on will be as follows: weapon system, which we are more than halfway done with, and then we'll be working on probably the enemy spawning system first. So the spawn system will improve it so that it becomes a lot easier to spawn enemies. Right now it's a little difficult to spawn enemies if you're a level designer. So once the spawn system is done, we'll improve and we'll touch up the bugs on the map generation system. After that is done, then we can look at currency and treasure chests. Treasure chests will be pretty simple actually.
After we are finished with creating the weapon system, we can definitely do the treasure chest. In fact, there's already one now, but it works with the old weapon system. So then I just have to refresh the code for the treasure chest so that it supports the new weapon system. When you're referring to the treasure chest, perhaps you're also asking about, are you going to show us how to do the animations and stuff? That's no problem. Animations are a lot of fun. So like for the past couple of weeks, for example, when I was working on the lightning ring weapon and when I was working on the whip weapon, I had a lot more fun. Simply because the effects were, you get to see the effects in action very quickly, right? So all of this stuff is only possible because the system is well developed. So like for example, the new weapon system, because it's so easy to use, it becomes very easy for us to create new weapons. So once I'm done with the 3 systems, then I'll move on and create in-game currency, and like we can create, like say, character unlocks and all that stuff. Can be done as well. We'll need a system for that. We need a system for everything. Even though Vampire Survivors, it looks like a very simple game, right? But a lot of the complexity comes because there are so many things that are available, right? So every part of the game is customizable, and this is where the challenge of coding it comes in. I would say it's more of the architectural design or the systems design of the initial systems design is hard. Once you get it down, then creating all these other things will be easy. And so this is my vision for the rest of the modules of this project as well. Okay, so Logic has another question. When will you be able to finish the entire game? I'll likely finish the weapon system before the end of this year. The entire game, so I'm only working on this once a week because I have other work commitments. So I think 6 months will be a good prediction. I think it's a little bit optimistic, but I think in 6 months, after the new year, not now, after the new year, we should be able to finish at least the map generation system and the spawn generation system. And once we have those 2 things, the entire project file, the entire set of project files that we have will be pretty robust, and then you can use it to do all kinds of things. So the idea is for us to create something that you can just download and then you can use and create your own variant of Vampire Survivors, right? So once that is done, after say June of next year, then we will look at other things that we like. For example, having gold, having coins, and having unlockables and all that stuff. Those are possible once we revamp and try and make all these other core systems in the game more robust.